Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 3, Episode 31, or 32, where we watch The Simple Life, Season 1, Episode 1, and Episode 2. I'm Chris Lorenz.
Robert Kitts.
Chicken Fried Max.
I'm Harrison Hoffman.
Annabeth.
And Brian Panneton.
Welcome, Brian Panneton. Not to be confused with other Brian that's been on the show.
Other Brian
new-
is now
new Brian.
dead to
Whoa.
us, Brian.
I didn't think our OG Brian would now be demoted to other Brian, but that's
No,
good
he's
to know.
new Brian.
He's new Brian.
That's just Brian.
So wouldn't that make
No, he was
him
other
old
Brian a second.
Well, he's not to be confused with the other Brian.
Oh, I see.
Not other Brian, the other Brian.
There's new Brian
Oh.
and dead to us, Brian. It's very easy.
Hopefully I'm the new Brian.
I don't know how much of our audience would know this show.
Come on, everybody knows this fucking show.
It
Everyone's
depends how
heard of
old
it.
you are, I think. Depends on our audience.
Well, our
demographics.
audience is one person. His name's Eric. Shout out to Eric.
Man. All right. Harrison, you got the description for this show?
Society princesses Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie leave behind their fabulous parties, wardrobes, and trust funds for the simple life. It's a very short description.
That's like the shortest description I think we've ever had on this on this show.
They're
Give
very
us the
concise.
description of the simple life. The simple life.
It's just like what?
It's a fish out of water reality show. Rich girl wanting to go to the hillbilly zone.
Perfect. So, is this the first fish out of water reality show?
What about Survivor?
It's true. Kind of is, but it's not like a comedy.
Did you
This-
guys do wife swap?
No, I just mean in chronology. This is 2003, right? Is
Okay.
there a previous show like this?
I don't know. We'll never know.
So, like, Wikipedia mentions, like, the production of this show was, like, based on, like, the comedy producers came up with this idea. So, like, I feel like this is, like, a start of a branch of reality TV.
I could see that, yeah.
So this is historic, is what you're
This is
saying.
an historic show.
When was Undercover Boss? I feel like there's some hints
that
of
was
Undercover
way
Boss. in
later
it.
than
It's
that.
way later.
I feel like
I'll
oh,
look
wait.
it up, but
Undercover
I'm gonna
Boss
say
has
way
hints
later.
of this show.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, this is the start of like a whole evolutionary branch. They did it.
The reality show tree.
When does this show go into the Library of Congress?
Oh, man, that would be...
Undercover Boss 2010.
Not even
So
close.
it had a 7-year head start. to
Wow.
The
Simple
show
Life.
was over by
Rob-
the time that...
Rob brings up an interesting point. When does The Apprentice join the Library of Congress?
Already in.
Is it really?
No, probably.
Okay.
When is Celebrity Apprentice?
Never. They're never letting that
All right,
Schwarzenegger
all right.
So the
production in.
Simple Life.
So The Simple Life. Let's bring this back. So the show's very simple because it's The Simple Life. It shows Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. They're hanging out in LA somewhere and they throw a party, a going away party. And they get in this private jet and they go to the Ozarks and they get in this truck with directions from MapQuest or wherever. And they drive to this family's house. They get in this family's house. They are mystified by things that are happening in the house. There's a lot of confessionals back and forth between the two of them. And that's like episode 1. Like nothing else really happens in episode 1.
Yeah.
What do you mean nothing else happens?
Well, I
Well,
just
we're
the
saving the
overview.
minutia, Max.
Okay.
The overview.
All right.
Then episode 2, they determine that Paris and Nicole need to get a job. So they go work at this dairy farm.
Good wholesome
And-
work.
And, you know, they're waking up at 4 a.m. They go to this dairy farm. They seemingly don't do a terrible job until like they need
Until
to
they
put
do.
milk in these jugs, which seems like the easiest job on this whole farm. And they just fuck it all up. And then they get fired and they go home. That's like the gist of the show. There
They
isn't
have
a whole
really
lot
awkward
of
barbecue.
They have an
Yeah.
awkward barbecue.
yeah.
And they go to sleep, but then they plan a daring escape.
It's a real cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
That is the cliffhanger ending.
There's also a good side plot with Paris's dog Tinkerbell,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
being taken care of by
well,
a
we can
small
get into the
boy.
minutia. There's,
This is
not a-
not minutia. This is
this is a
is a
serious
strong plot line.
serious plot lines. Yeah, that's all I can really remember as like a general overview of the show.
I think that's the general overview of the show.
That's a good
Like,
that was
overview.
strong.
there's not a lot of plot in this show.
No, the plot in the show is non-existent.
Also, we watched the episodes with no commercials. Each episode was like 20 minutes. So
And this is 2003, 20 minutes. Like, they're cutting it small.
yeah.
We also watched these on YouTube with like 1/3 of the screen gone. So I'm not sure how that's going to affect our review of the
So
show.
the show starts with them going on like a fashion spree to kind of show like what kind of what their quote unquote normal life is, and they're like showing these prices on the screen, but we couldn't see them.
But there were a lot of digits.
Everything was over
like
$1,000.
like I feel like each one moved down the screen slightly, so it could like read it pretty well, even though it was half cut off. And then it was kind of hard to see. Then you could see the digits, and the last one like you just couldn't see
No
it at
idea.
all.
So this is how the show opens, right? They're
Yeah.
on the shopping spree. They were getting some sort of shoes. The price I could see was $2,000, and that was the only price that I remember seeing.
She bought some kind of carrier for a dog that was $1,500. Saw that.
I also saw that this was a DVD release.
Oh.
Maybe you should have.
Nope.
The rare reality show DVD release.
Well, I'll check the Amazon availability while we talk.
I
Does
mean,
it arrive
it's
before
too late.
Christmas?
It's too late now.
Prime Now?
So we also have to talk about the narrator because that was a good
Oh.
part of like he really kicked in on the shopping spree.
It's true. This is a big this is definitely something reality shows don't tend to do that much anymore. But it's very narrated, like almost everything.
It's
There-
basically in the style of like Sam Elliott, the narrator of The Big Lebowski.
Oh,
Like it
yeah.
is in that style very much.
And he's got this like redneck kind of like twang.
Like, he's got to be hamming it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah. This isn't like the accent he was
He
born
might
with.
have they might have just found this guy to do the accent, but probably not.
No, this is definitely some Sam Elliott shit.
That
Yeah.
guy has that accent though.
I know, and that's fucking wild.
Yeah. There was like I just have a note about them going grocery shopping. I don't know if we're there yet.
Okay, so the first time they're driving, they get to the house, and they're kind of meeting all the family. And sort of the first fun thing that happens is like they say, "Oh, my son Kane's at a track meet," and they say, "Oh, how old is he?" And the mom says 15, and the girls say, "Oh," and the mom is just like staring
Horrified.
at them.
Well,
horrified.
the parents are also horrified at these. They come in and they're wearing like nothing, and they're like, "Oh, women around here don't be wearing any of this."
There's a lot of talk about the word skimpy.
A lot of skimpy outfits from Paris and Nicole here.
2003. It was a different time.
Possibly.
This is a show whose success is almost completely based on the reactions of all of the people around Paris and Nicole. It's like less about the stuff that they're doing and more just about like the reactions
I
of
think
everybody
it's
around
both
them.
directions. I think it's the show is based on Nicole and Paris's reactions. I think is what you kind of base the show on. But then you can lean in on any of these other people that you have surrounding them, if they have good reactions or not.
Well, it's just like Paris and Nicole are just such ridiculous characters in this thing that you just end up siding more with like the family and like the other like people on the show. You're just you're laughing at them you're reacting with the people around them. I feel like.
I mean, you take these people and you're like, hey, go do this job, and they've never done a job in their life. I think they do a pretty darn good job, as we'll get to. But like,
Chris, they got fired.
On day
we'll
one.
get into that.
They took a break from the job to go in the hot tub and start in tan.
I mean, to be fair, if you had a hot tub anywhere on your work campus, what would you do?
I mean, I'd be hitting it up, but
Yeah,
But why did they have their bathing suits with them?
that's a great question.
scripting.
Because it's a
Is
scripted
it time to
show.
get into how scripted is the show?
I mean, whenever you want to get to it. I don't. Maybe we'd save it for the end. I don't know.
We'll save it. We'll save it.
There's definitely, I think, when we get into the second episode, it seems way more scripted than the first episode.
No, definitely. So quick update on DVDs. So you can get the complete season 1 to 5 with Prime shipping.
Should we play? What's that show about the prices that you?
The
guessed?
Price is Right?
The Price is Right.
We can. I will point out this is a Region 2 non-USA format. It has only 1-star reviews of "I bought this and it won't play in my DVD."
Oh no.
$27.
$30.
$12.
$14.99.
$17.99.
Harrison wins $44.99.
Jesus Christ.
And then weirdly, you can also buy the seasons individually. Season 1 only available from third-party sellers. Season 5 Prime shipping $12.99.
Whoa. All 5 seasons. That's impressive.
All 5 seasons.
Man, gotta get that in the treasure truck.
Ooh.
When is this show going to be rebooted?
When are they going to do like The Complicated Life, where they ship like that little kid who was babysitting the dog out to live the LA lifestyle?
That should really be like 2 or 3 episodes at the end of the season when the family comes out to visit them in LA, and like that'd be great.
They had to have done that,
I
right?
believe that show is called Breaking Amish.
Oh, and it's a great show.
All right, let's pull it back.
Okay.
So they're at this house. We're back to this house. Is there anything special that happens in this first day? Like, there's the chickens thing, right?
There's the chickens
They found
thing.
the sump
So
pump.
we'll go through a couple of things. So
Or the well.
there's Paris and Nicole are trying to drive this truck, but Paris doesn't seem to know how to put the truck in reverse. So there's some stuff about that. There's the fact that they have this house that's kind of like in the side house, and there's a well, and they're very confused at what a well is.
Well, I'm
What's it
kind of
for?
confused. The well's like just like boarded up on the floor.
Yeah,
That seemed
wells
a
are
li-
in the ground. That's
Yeah,
what-
I know
that's what
they're in the
wells are.
ground, but usually, I don't know. I've never seen the actual just hole covered up like that. So like,
Well,
I
I
also
mean,
have been confused.
There's a grate over it that I assume you can remove because you got to be able to. You can't just be falling in the well all the time.
Well, usually you have a pump down there that pumps the water up to you so
Sure.
you could use it.
It was,
So I don't understand why you need a hole so you could like jump in. Like I don't.
it was strange that it was in the middle of the house too.
That was definitely weird.
Was it? This gets to like, is it really in the middle of the house, or did they stage like this is like off to the side, but then they stage something so it looks like it's in the middle of the house, you know?
Well, they said it was in their room, didn't they?
But it's
Like-
not. Then you
But
saw
it's
the
not
room
in their
later, and it's
room.
not.
Yeah.
I was also confused by that statement.
It's very suspicious the
Who knows?
whole setup and stuff. But like, you know, it's a well. That's it didn't. They seemed much more confused by it than they should have been.
I'm confused by it. We're confused by it. I can see why they're confused by it.
What was the most ridiculous thing that they claimed they didn't know about?
Walmart.
Walmart.
Oh, man.
Walmart's probably
Walmart's a
right.
Do they
good.
sell walls there?
Is that a place you
I
guys
feel like
hang
not
out
being
at?
able to put the truck in reverse is a pretty.
Well, they figured out how to do the truck later because when they went to the store, they were able to reverse out of the parking lot.
Mm.
So was that just a setup then?
We'll
Maybe
never
they
know.
asked somebody how to throw it in reverse.
Suspect. Very suspect.
It is very suspect.
As we'll have to call these out as they come along.
They said they didn't know what generic water was.
Oh, that's
Generic
true.
brand. That was good.
When they're at the grocery store, they don't have like credit cards. They only have spending money. So like they get all the stuff on the list and a little bit more, and they bought too much. And the guys, they're like, "Can you just give it to us?" And the guy's like, "I'm not a soup kitchen. What don't you want?" And later on, they're like, "What do you mean by that? What's a soup kitchen?"
Thank you. Soup Kitchen was the other one I was trying to remember. What was the other weird thing? Thank you.
There was some sort of pig's feet situation at the grocery store too.
Yes.
They were very weirded out by pig's feet.
They're weird at pig's feet, but then Paris made an unusual comment of, I mean, feet is one thing, but pig's feet. And I'm thinking to
Like
myself,
what other pigs are? What other feet do you want to eat?
yeah, what's the good feet to eat?
I guess chicken feet is definitely the most normal feet.
For sure.
I think pig's feet's the most normal feet.
I just don't know what. I've never consciously eaten pig's feet,
I've eaten
but I
pig's
have eaten chicken feet. So like,
Really?
I didn't know they had chicken.
Yeah,
but
like
I'm sure I
dim
might
sum.
have had pig's feet, but not knowingly. But like
I know chicken feet is a thing. Chris, very adventurous.
yeah, I mean, I'll try pig's feet.
Pig's
But
feet is a French Canadian Christmas thing.
Ooh.
There you go.
The more you know.
Canada facts.
Yeah.
So there was also like they get to the register, right? And they're like trying to pay. Like you mentioned that they didn't have enough money. And they're like, "Oh, well, do we need this apple juice?" They're like, "That was that on the list?" No. So they had to get everything that wasn't on the list, did not get it.
Yeah. So Nicole asked if the option was on this person. So I definitely got the sense, and there are definitely counterexamples we can point to of like Nicole seems relatively competent and kind of knows what's going on, and
Yeah.
Paris is much more extreme of being useless. But I don't know how much of that is a bit and how much of that is like just real life of what she's like.
Yeah.
But that was my overall takeaway was like Nicole's kind of with what's going on and you know kind of reasonable.
I was kind of surprised when they were leaving the airport that Nicole wasn't driving the car because Nicole seemed to have a better grasp on like the controls.
Of life.
Paris.
Controls of what? Life?
Right, but then she said that she doesn't drive though, so that was kind of
true.
I don't know.
I thought that was like a thing to be like, I always have a driver.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
Well, and then the next day she's trying to convince their boss to let her drive something on the farm, and he pulls a cool trick on her. What does he call it? He's like you get to drive the Polish. What was it?
Polish pickup or something?
Polish pickup.
pickup,
And she
that's
was
right.
like, yeah, and she was like really excited because Paris had to like clean the barn, and she got to drive this thing, and then the camera pans outside, and it's a wheelbarrow.
She was holding grain in it, I think, and then she spilled
Oh
it
yeah,
all
for the
on
trough,
side.
and she didn't know what a trough was.
what's a trough?
All right. So
Where you put the grain.
after they're at the grocery store,
Yes.
they come back to dinner.
dinner.
And then there was like this one line that they said, they were like all talking about, you know, doing this whole thing. And Paris was like, I would die living here. I was just like, you're surrounded by this family. And you just freaking said that.
Yep.
Where they like asked, like she asked them about living in the big city. And that was her response about living there. And I was like, that's a
Harsh.
They do
you're not
beat
reading the
around
room
bush.
there. You're not reading that room really well. And then afterwards, there was like this whole fiasco about like bugs. They're like, there's just a fly in their room, and they were freaking out. And that was like a good like 3-4 minute segment of this episode was them just freaking out about this fly, and like close up of a tick that wasn't visible.
It was visible to
That
me,
was
and it
not
was
good.
on those bed sheets. Like that's legit.
There was one shot you could see there was like a little bug
Yeah.
on her back.
No, the fly was there.
Oh, that was a fly.
I
Okay.
think there were more than one fly.
You think there were
The
flies?
little kid was
The
hitting them
little
with the
kid
fly
was the
Yeah.
best part of this. That they said little kid with a fly swatter. Well,
That was
Paris and
good.
Nicole are just running around screaming, and he's just like trying to swat things.
Do you remember the kid's catchphrase?
Please tell us.
They'll be nice and cold in the morning.
Is that his catchphrase?
Yep.
I would argue that the kid is the best part of this whole
Oh,
show.
Like,
he's-
Tinkerbell.
I don't
Kid is
think you have to make a
close
strong
second.
argument.
I want a Kid in Tinkerbell spinoff. Like, can we get that?
Well, he's a teenager now, so I could imagine a whole new show.
Oh, maybe
He's
might be older
20.
than a teenager
he's,
now.
he's a full-grown adult now. This
May-
is the 15th anniversary of this show.
maybe Paris and Nicole will want to have a threesome with him now. Now that it's good to go.
So the first show ended with them talking to like, is this the 15-year-old boy?
I
Or is this
Yeah.
there another?
No, I
Is
think
there
he's an older brother.
It's an
so is
older
this
brother.
An older brother. Okay.
it was unclear how old he was though.
Yeah. And you know, they say he's cute, and then ends with, "We should do a threesome with him." And that's your hook for the next episode.
But when I did this, it actually took a kind of great screenshot of like he had walked away for a second. They said that he walks back, and they just screenshot his face with this confused look on his face, and it says 29 days to go. That was really good.
All right. Episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's one more bit in episode 1.
Do it.
And I just want to bring it up because I think it's interesting in the conversation of how much of this is scripted. But when they come back from the store, like the grandma is like really trying to get them to like help her pluck these chickens and prepare the chickens for dinner.
Oh, the chickens.
And like
yes.
this was kind of interesting just because they like totally shut it down, and she like kept trying, and it was clearly like a planned thing, but like the girls did not do it.
It's true. They definitely set it up early in the episode. They're like, "Oh, grandma's out there with the chicken. Oh, here comes Paris." And like, then the grandma comes in. You need to come out. And nope, not happening.
Yeah.
They're like, "I can't do dead animals. I'm going to go out there and throw up." Is what Paris says.
It'd be interesting to know what their contracts for this show looked like and like what they are required to do to actually get paid for being on this, because like even them, you know, we saw the sneak peek that they have kind of like a bunch of different, you know, country jobs like throughout the series, but there's no real incentive for them to like not get fired on the first day from every single job that they're on. So like I'd be curious to know what's or there's no real incentive for them to want to pluck the chickens other than just not offending the family. So I don't know.
Yeah. There's also one other minor detail in the first episode about like after dinner, the dad comes in and sets down the rules.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The rules about, you know, make your bed in the morning, don't leave your shit around.
This was good foreshadowing.
And like you got to wake up at 4 a.m. and there's a curfew of midnight, which is a cliffhanger for the next episode that comes into that. So like, you know, they're trying to make it seem, you know, more real with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of these rules they actually had to follow, or is just the cameraman just going around cleaning shit up for them.
This is a good question. It's hard to say.
So I thought something was really strange right in the beginning when they had a going away party that seemed more like a wedding. And they had like the father basically did a whole speech, and I thought
So was
it
that
very
really
strange.
like the Hilton dad heir guy? Like was that?
I think so.
Did that guy own all of Hilton? Like
No
Must
idea.
It must be Papa Hilton.
why is he in this show?
Grandpa Hilton,
So-
I think, is the current owner / controller.
Okay.
So my working theory is that it's a similar situation to Siesta Key, in which the dad is an executive producer of the show and is like, I gotta make some money off of this daughter I've got.
Some kind of 100 Ask Gary situation.
Exactly.
Wikipedia mentions that like Fox is the one that kind of really set this up.
What
But-
if
but,
Papa
like-
Hilton's the narrator?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would be an interesting accent for that gentleman to have, or be able to do in general.
That's my conspiracy theory for the show.
But so 100 Ask Gary paid MTV to make a reality show to make his son famous. But Paris Hilton was already famous.
Oh yeah.
So like, and I feel like if you own, well, I was gonna say if you own Hilton, you have enough money. But 100 Ask Gary also has a lot of money. So I don't know what his.
I think the guy that owns Hilton might have a little more money than 100 Ask Gary, but
I don't know. 100 Ask Gary is a pretty big deal in
doc-
Siesta Key.
that Dr. Lawyer referral business is great.
Business is booming.
All right, episode 2 here. So the girls go out to this dairy farm, but like, so it was 4 a.m. and then
it's
they
5:15.
then they get to the dairy farm and it's like seems like no, it was like really bright. Like it was really dark and then it was really bright by the time they got there.
I mean, if it's the summer, you get there at like 7, then it'd be pretty bright by that point.
No, I'm sure, but like there's this transitional period. It was like, oh, you got to wake up so early. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Right.
And then they get to work and it's like bright out. And I'm like, okay, how? Like, what time did they actually get there?
Was it because they were
Right.
late because they were putting on makeup?
They got to
It's
look good
definitely
for the
possible.
camera. So they have to go. The first thing they have to do is they have to go bring the cows in, and they got this cowbell, and they're ringing this cowbell, and the cows come all in. And that was a lot of comments in the room. It's like, oh, that's what a cowbell's for.
I had no idea.
See, we're learning.
Yeah.
Educational program. Incredible.
I like that you pronounce it the British way.
It's a
Program.
program.
So then they do.
I wanted a Will Ferrell cameo during this cowbell part, though. Unfortunately, didn't get that.
Not a Christopher Walken.
Oh, Christopher Walken would be
Christopher
better than Will
Walken.
Ferrell. Yeah.
So they have to do various things around this thing, and Paris and Nicole are varyingly funny as they do these things.
I like that the guy asked Nicole to shout the cows, just starts like berating them, and he's like, "That's not what I had in mind."
That was the best.
Move your fat asses.
It's true. They gotta get the cow. I don't even know what all they have to do. Just like it's so disjointedly edited. Like I have no idea what they actually did.
Right, like even the cowbell thing. It's like they showed them ring cowbells, then it cut to cows moving, and then it showed them walking away. And it's like, did they actually do anything? Like it's unclear. Like then they're like, "Oh, good job, you got the cows to move." It's like, did they?
There's definitely a shot of them running with a cowbell, which was interesting. But like, I don't know what else they did.
The
They,
cow
like,
stuff is boring until they get to the milk.
Yeah. Well, because they don't really do anything. They like have that wheelbarrow and they like dump the wheelbarrow and it's like a brief moment and they don't linger on it at all. It seems pretty like something you do.
Well, there was a longish scene of them like in the room with the cows, and they're like reaching between the legs, kind of.
To clean out the barn or something.
Yeah, they were like cleaning it somehow, but it kind of wasn't clear like what the job was.
So he said they had to like spray their udders or something?
Oh, is that what it
I
was?
think so.
Ooh,
Weird.
ooh.
Paris proclaimed she's never drinking milk again
Or eating hamburger.
or eating hamburger.
How long?
But
did
then
that
they go to a
last?
barbecue that night.
Oh, yeah.
So
You know.
But anyway, the milk. They just got to aim. a
So yeah,
hose.
they're filling these milk containers with this hose, and it's just they first like doing it like they should, and then they're just like, oh, we're not going to turn the hose off between, and they're spilling milk everywhere, and they just start fucking this whole thing up and spilling milk all over the place. And then they get bored of it and they're like, we're not going to do this anymore, and start hiding the milk jugs to make it seem like they've done more work than they've done. And they're like filling the containers with water and milk. And like, we're so confused of the sequence of events to get you to the fact of filling water up with the milk. Like, I'm so lost.
I mean, it seemed like the only way that it makes sense to me is that they've run out of milk because they spilled too much milk, and they're like, oh shit, we got to make it look like we actually filled all these. So that's why I think they were kind of taking full milk jugs and pouring them into other ones and then filling up with water. It just seems like they might have ran out of milk, but I have no idea. I
It's
don't
very confusing.
I think the truck was coming to pick up the milk as well, so they had to hurry.
Also that.
Well, the guy was telling them that they had to pick up the pace because the guy was going to show up, take the milk, and they had to fill all the bottles.
But was the truck real?
I don't know.
there's no way they gave this milk to people.
Yeah.
There's
Oh.
no way.
0%.
There's definitely camera footage of what they did to these milk bottles since we saw it.
It is not milk.
Like the Fox Broadcasting Corporation paid for that milk and then threw it all in the garbage.
Definitely.
It's just skim milk.
When they first took the bottles back into the barn, my first thought was, "Oh my God, they're gonna pee in these bottles."
Oh no.
And I was like, well, "Why? Why are they thinking this?" And they just were hiding them. I was like, "Oh."
I'm
okay.
also curious as to why you're thinking that.
And that's what I thought
Pranks.
was about to happen.
Like maybe he won't notice all these extra bottles we put inside. Incredible.
So I think that this is what this show is. Every episode, they do a job and they get fired for some reason, whatever reason. So
You're saying one each day, a new one.
yeah, one each day. A new one.
One each day, a new one.
So is this 30 episodes long? Is there like one per day?
Let me look how long the first season is.
Supposedly,
Because
somebody
like
said
we've
there's
done
30
2
episodes of
days.
this.
No, Chris said it because it's 30 days. He did not actually look up how many episodes there were.
Do you think they have 30 businesses on retainer?
Ain't no way.
We might need to send 2 women to you to do a really bad job at whatever you do.
We just set
we'll
up.
pay you though. Don't worry.
It's just set up random jobs. Like go back to that dairy farm and do something else on the dairy farm and pretend it's somewhere else. Like the thing is, the editing of the show is so weird. Like this whole cow thing makes it seem it's so disjointed. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what's going on.
But you get like impressions.
You get like a
I
small.
kind of appreciate the fast paced and just sort of like it's sort of like a dream sequence like put together.
It definitely seems like
something with
seems
cows.
like I'm high and I like remembering like vague bits of something that's happened.
Magical
And, like
realism.
the funny kind of bit, but it's disjointed with the other funny bits, but you don't really know what actually is
Yeah.
going on
Also, why did that guy leave them alone?
because that's
I
funny.
Don't know.
Yeah, I mean that must be a setup because there is no way you can trust these
Oh,
women.
this is 100%
Not a
setup
chance.
show.
Well, so in theory, it would be like he actually also has work to do, and he's like, "You guys got this. I'm gonna go away." But like, no, that doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. So guess what? There were 9 episodes.
No.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh no!
We
No.
have watched more than 20% of Simple Life season 1,
It must really start accelerating,
or they quit.
or they just like dipped
They
out
didn't
after
actually do
a
30
week and a
days.
half.
Yeah,
Is that what happens?
I don't know.
We gotta watch 7 more.
We
No.
need we need Rob's internet corner to let us know.
I'm
Well-
giving you all the internet corner I got.
All right.
So what did we see in the sneak peek of the rest of the season? They're gonna work at a Sonic.
They're arguing over some roadkill.
Yeah.
They were at a Sonic.
They were at a bar or somewhere, and they said, tell your grandsons we're in town for 5 weeks and we're looking."
Oh yeah.
Are they? There's no way.
Well, there is another shot of them making out with boys. And then there was that other teaser shot of like, was it Paris who was like, "I've never met someone like you."
Oh
Wait.
yeah.
Like, ooh.
I mean, like the most substantive conversations that they have are about whether or not there are any cute boys around and whether or not they're gonna have sex with them. Like, so I mean, that's like,
Well, so on that note, we could take a little detour outside the show.
Hit me.
So right before this show aired, Paris Hilton had a sex tape leak, which made this show premiere like a really big deal.
Wait, slow down. So she wasn't famous for that already?
No.
They made the show without that having happened.
I think that the tape happened before the show got greenlit.
I think
I don't think
too.
so.
That's how she became famous.
Look up the date when the sex
All
tape
right,
came out.
so
This show
before I go to the next internet corner, I just want to say the highest rated episode of season 1 on IMDb was episode 1, a 5 out of 10.
oh no,
the viewership of episode 1 was 13 million viewers.
Wow.
not too shabby.
Episode 2 is 13.3 million viewers.
Oh, gain some viewers.
Was it a double header premiere night?
I don't think so. If it
Incredible.
was, then that wouldn't make much sense.
Was
Just
Paris a model? Is that why she was
Yes.
famous? Okay.
So like I looked up what the hell these two people were doing after the show because I needed to know.
yeah.
And Paris Hilton is modeling still and randomly does terrible acting things.
She had a single music album, I believe.
Yeah, both of the
Has anybody heard
Oh
of
yeah, Nicole
Nic-
talked about recording
Nicole
with the men
ran
at the barbecue
Nicole
who had-
did some music stuff for a bit and then she's done nothing for like the last like 5-6 years.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia. Who knows?
Maybe she moved to the farm.
she loved it so much.
So the modeling thing happened after this show.
No. Paris Hilton's been a model for like that's
Well,
her career.
They made such a big deal about how they've never had a job before. Like that's a
No.
job.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not like a timesheet job.
Yeah, it's not a 9 to 5 come in every day kind of job, but like
yeah.
you're still working.
I mean, that's just a lie. Let's
No,
be
totally.
honest.
All right.
She's been a model. Like that's her job.
All right, we got a Wikipedia update.
Hit me.
And we got to give it to Chris, who knows his Paris Hilton timeline.
Wow.
She was a model and was famous for that. She'd been in Zoolander and some things. And the sex tape happened right before the premiere of The Simple Life.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
I read that on Wikipedia. I just needed somebody to confirm. So back to this episode. Somebody's favorite B plot is happening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to go to Max's Animal Corner.
This
now.
is
This is incredible.
This is some serious like BoJack Horseman level B story. Like it's very well developed. A small child feeds Paris's Chihuahua a deconstructed grilled cheese sandwich, And
in a deconstructed, uncooked grilled cheese sandwich, aka a cheese sandwich.
I've been watching a lot of Final Table. Okay.
I don't have the dog ate any bread. He really just ate some cheese adjacent to bread.
Deconstructed cheese sandwich.
And
This 1 pound dog.
and he picks it up and puts it on a slide and pushes it down the slide. It was great. It was really, heartwarming.
The little kid is very cute.
Yeah,
He's really cute. I think do we ever find out his name?
little kid.
I'm sure it was mentioned.
Little buddy.
It probably was on
buddy.
the bottom of the screen that we couldn't see.
Oh, for sure.
Fair.
He also introduced the dog to the cows.
Oh yeah, yeah. Every part of that was fantastic.
Were you pleased the dog went down the slide, or were you worried for the dog's safety?
I've also gone down a slide with my dog, so
Oh, okay.
But
I was
has the
into
dog gone by itself?
yes, I would go down and he would follow me down.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
This has been Max's childhood dog memories corner.
The other thing that we kind of briefly mentioned that happened was like they're at this dairy farm and they mentioned some sort of hot tub. So there's like this side cut of them getting their bathing suits on and going to this hot tub. And then the person's like, does it bother you that I work while you relax? Which was funny, but like, where did they bring the bathing suits with them? Like, this is clearly a setup.
Like the producers knew there was this hot tub there, and the producers brought their bathing suits and all that.
It's like, hey, we brought some bathing suits and some tanning oil. You think you want to go for the hot tub?
Get some sort of
or-
sexy shots, view
Yeah.
at the hot tub, maybe.
Gotta.
Well, this was a mysterious scene also because, like, presumably it's their lunch break or something, but that's never explained. Their boss doesn't seem mad at them. that
Yeah.
they're in the
I was
hot
like-
tub.
I mean, he's a little annoyed, but he's not like properly.
yeah,
annoyed.
but he's not like, get back to work.
Well, afterwards, when he fires them, he says, "You've been here 9 hours. You worked 6 hours. Here's $42." So they
Yeah.
spent 1/3 of their time.
not working.
Oh, and then they have a nap at the end.
Yeah.
When he
That's
goes
when he
to
fires
fire them, they're on his couch asleep,
Pretending to be asleep.
cuddling.
Yeah.
And then this episode ends. Oh, there's a barbecue. Gotta mention the barbecue.
It's very awkward. Nobody has anything to say to each other. All the boys are definitely like eyeing these two up and down.
Well, Nicole is
Left
out
and
there talking to all of these. He's surrounded by like 20 guys.
She's standing in a semicircle of men talking to one of them. And it is so weird.
It is like so awkward. Like it comes through even if they can't not make it
But like,
awkward.
were all those guys teenagers, or were there any?
I
older
know. I
people
think there was just
No, they were
Oh,
like
there was a
adult
big
men.
range.
Oh, there was the adult too.
Yeah.
Did we see food during that?
no.
No.
I don't remember seeing any food.
There's no food.
How is it a barbecue?
I think the barbecue might have been a lie too.
I thought maybe they were like waiting for something to grill, but then it never happened.
Well, Paris is like inside getting ready to go to this thing, and we never actually see her at this event.
Getting ready is a
no,
good.
no, she goes to the event eventually.
Well,
No, I
then
mean,
she
but we don't
kidnaps
see her at it.
Nicole. She like goes outside, and then there's a shot of them walking around the building, and then they come back inside, and they're like, "This sucks."
What do you do for fun? Nothing.
But like Paris getting ready is great because she's like they have this shot of her basically doing runway model walks in front of a mirror to get ready to go to this barbecue.
It's ludicrous.
It's so ludicrous.
And then the episode kind of ends where it's like dark out, and you see Paris and Nicole just kind of like run off out of the house, and a great shot of the dad peeking out the window, watching them, insinuating that they're heading out past curfew.
Yeah, watching the truck pull away.
Well,
Yeah.
he had also said that one of the rules earlier was that they have to ask permission to take the truck.
That's
They're
true.
sneaking out and stealing that truck.
It's a multiple rule violation.
What is the punishment for Nicole and Paris at that point?
Going to work for Sonic.
Plucking chickens.
I
The
don't-
kid gets to keep Tinkerbell.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be good for
Their
Tinkerbell.
stay is extended by another month.
Oh man, that would be the worst.
I
That
mean,
would
that's
probably-
the family punishing themselves.
Well, yeah.
that's true. There's a lot of people
Yeah,
punished
how much
there.
did this family get paid? Also, how did this family get found?
Yeah.
Did this family volunteer? Did a recruiter come out to the farms and like talk to everybody?
This is really fascinating. You're
How'd
like,
this happen?
how do you find this farm family in the Ozarks? They're gonna take in.
And make the
Seriously.
weirdest pitch to them.
Well, the part of the pitch is definitely we're gonna give you a bag of money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I bet you it's not even that much money.
It's
either.
not that much
It's just like,
No.
hey, we have these two people live with you, and you're like, I'll give you 10 grand. And like, all right,
Right.
like whatever. Like that's a lot of money to them, but it's not a lot of money to Fox. Right? That's like nothing. They're probably getting paid nothing.
Should this be spun into the plot of season 3 of Ozark?
Oh yeah, crossover.
That like he goes to the farm, but then like it's actually Paris Hilton is on the farm, like she's playing herself. And then there's a reality TV show going on, and Jason Bateman's like, "Whoa, why is there a reality TV show in the middle of my money laundering?" Ah.
She's been there for 15 years.
She's a shell.
Oh, yeah. She's still there, and she says she's on a show, and like, oh, yeah, the cameras, but there are no cameras.
Dun, dun, dun.
They're always behind me. I can never see them.
Yeah,
That was another thing on this show. I was like, I wonder how big this camera crew is. Like, what's the production team look like that's following them around?
like
It's a pretty small production
Oh,
crew.
yeah.
I've got, I think, two cameramen.
Not even, I don't think.
You gotta have two.
you gotta
Why do you
at
have
least-
two?
You,
For
for
sure.
two
Have two.
women. Well, like the sequence in the house. And
Well, I
outside
mean,
the house.
obviously they'll have like rotations or whatever people with cameramen. But
Gotta have two.
you have maybe when you go on location and like they'll have like more than one follow each one. Do we
think
know
they have
anything
two.
about production of reality shows? Like, can I,
I
say
feel-
anything about this?
I feel we know a decent amount of us guessing how things work, and we've convinced ourselves
Yeah, we
that
have.
we know.
yeah, we have no idea.
Like we like to discuss how many actual days it take to film this whole season.
That's true. We
Like in
definitely
what
do-
we saw, you could have filmed all that in one day, even though they said it was 2 days.
I don't think so.
You
No,
don't think
because
so?
they had that whole morning.
Well, they
thing,
definitely
and they had to fly
filmed
in.
multiple days because they had the party
They have the party.
and then the jet. I'm still confused why, if they're going to go to Simple Life, why they get a private jet to go there.
Well,
It
they're
hasn't
not.
started yet.
Right.
I want them to be coach. I want them to deal with it.
Like they should have to go in like a horse and buggy to the Ozarks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they should have just had to go coach. You know, this private jet's too good for them. Anyone got any other minor minutia they want to talk about?
Paris Hilton's voice is not what I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
What?
I thought her voice was a lot deeper, or her voice in the show was a lot deeper than I expected.
I feel like I saw a lot of marketing for this show when it was on. Did not surprise me.
Well, that's the thing is like I definitely 15 years ago was seeing way too many like random commercials with Paris Hilton in them, but I guess I don't remember what her voice is like.
I think I just expected sort of the classic Valley Girl voice, and expectations were trumped.
Interesting choice of words.
Just like, it wasn't like a oh my god type thing, which I definitely expected.
That's fair.
All right, before we
Maybe
get to
she's the narrator.
Whoa.
before we get to ratings, since Brian is new, he doesn't understand the rating system. So I have to explain the rating system.
Proposal. The five of us do ours, and he'll sort of figure it out.
Well,
How
the audience
complicated is
might be new. They
It's
might
not that hard
alright.
to explain.
Yeah, it's just like we do some sort of stack ranking, whether you think this is a top third reality show, a middle third, or a bottom third reality show. So, like, if you think this is, well, we've done a lot of these, so like,
It works better when you've actually done like 100 of these,
Yeah.
and you're like, of all of them, where does it kind of rank? But then, so once you put in your top, middle, or bottom, you can also then sub-segment of is it the top of the top, or the middle of the top, or the bottom of the top. So it's really like a 9-point scale. But not everyone does that.
that's a little deep. Right now, I'll start off. I think earlier on in my Who Put This On career, this would certainly be a bottom third show. But I think it's middle third. It's not offensive, but like it's entertaining. The editing is weird. It's very fake, but it was entertaining, which puts it in the middle third. If you're not entertaining, there's so many so many of these things that are just aren't entertaining that get put in the bottom third. So middle third it is.
All right.
Max, what do you got for me?
Shockingly, middle third, bottom of the middle. The fact that it's only like 20 minutes, it's fine. You know, I don't want to watch any more of it, but the idea was novel for its time. It's not super boring or anything. It's fine.
Annabeth, what do you got?
I was also gonna do bottom of the middle because I think it's very entertaining. Like you're watching it because it goes so fast.
Yeah.
So like you never really you never get bored or like it doesn't do like the modern reality show thing where you see previews over and over and over about what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So like I appreciated the pace, but like I'm kind of docking it because like it's kind of mean. It's kind of mean to everybody. Like there's sort of like something there that I don't really like because I feel like they're making fun of people who live on farms and they're making fun of like the rich ladies, and it's just like it's not a kind-hearted show. So like at least you get that little levity with the dog and the small boy whose name we don't know. Like that was a really good like little taste of joy.
Little buddy.
But yeah, those are some thoughts. Bottom of the middle.
All right. Harrison, what do you got for us?
Oh boy. I think this is definitely has to be a bottom third show for me. I just it's not that interesting. Like I feel like these episodes ended and you're right, like they do go by quick, but like they end and you don't really feel like anything happened.
Yeah.
You're just like, I don't know. Like I'm still waiting for something to happen here. I think that there's a lot of overacting by Paris and Nicole that I mean, we'll see once they've been there for longer, kind of how that works out. And I think if after watching more episodes, if they're there for a month and there's some kind of a character arc or they've learned something about themselves or like something real happens, I think that it could maybe be upgraded. But like, I don't know. I'm not super into it.
Yeah. If that happens, I think it would be downgraded because I feel like that would just be
No,
placebo.
I don't know. I mean, like if they actually had some real like self improvement, I think that it would be cool. It'd be cool to see some people who you don't think could ever really change, like start to understand some people who are different from them. Like,
I mean,
that'd be good.
They subjected themselves to this 5 times.
Oh yeah, they did.
You know, maybe they ended up enjoying it. Who knows?
Could be. It's like
Enjoying those money bags, probably.
is this like Paris Hilton's equivalent of like Jack Dorsey's like meditation retreat? Is that like what they do to get away from the club scene? Is they go on Simple Life?
Like, to be fair, only season 1 they're on a farm. They come up with a different bit
Simple
for every
Life?
season.
Interesting.
All right, Rob, what do you got for us?
I'm gonna put this one in the bottom. I'm gonna kind of
That's
disagree
okay.
of that. I didn't actually find it that entertaining. Like I didn't find it went by that fast. I was definitely like, it's only been 15 minutes. It feels like the show's been like gone forever. So it just didn't work for me, and I don't know. I was not entertained. So I'm gonna put it in the bottom.
Are you not entertained?
I was not.
All right, Brian, after the explanation and the other people's ratings, what is your rating?
So, trying to figure out your rating scales here. I'm going to put it at the bottom,
Okay.
but I'm going to put it at the top of the bottom.
Good choice.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
great.
got it. You
Well
got
done.
My reasoning is I found it entertaining enough to keep my interest, and if it were on Netflix, I could probably watch a couple hours of it. However,
Hours. That's
the
a
next
lot.
day I would probably not think once about it,
it. Okay.
so I would never come back to it.
It's a good heuristic. I like it.
It's definitely a background show.
Oh, yeah.
It's a background show.
And you could definitely zone out real easy to this show. Certainly.
Put on the Simple Life and forget about all your troubles.
Get that 5-season DVD set. Anyone watching anything else?
So before you say that, I have some interesting things that I found
Do it.
online.
Oh.
Some
Some
sort of Brian's internet corner? Yeah.
Well,
this is
it's
fine.
a little bit about the show, and I don't know if this is the right time to.
It is.
to say it.
Bring it
There's
out.
no better time.
Let's go.
So apparently, after the show aired, maybe 13 years later, Paris Hilton did an interview with Access Hollywood.
Okay.
And during that interview, she basically says that they were given roles to play, and Paris was the ditzy, airhead, and that's a quote, role, and Nicole was supposed to be a troublemaker.
Okay.
So I
That
don't
makes
know
sense.
how much, I guess, how staged it was.
I believe it.
Nicole definitely didn't seem like much of a troublemaker in the episodes we watched.
Yeah, seemed more like Paris.
She seemed
Paris was doing
Nicole
all
is
of it.
barely a person. I think like she's like barely in the
Sick
episode.
burn.
She doesn't have a personality in the 2 episodes we watched. So like, she definitely was not a troublemaker.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, was she the one that suggested the hot tub thing?
I don't know.
I mean, the producers did.
The producers are the ones.
It
that
seemed
did
like a very mutual decision. It was like one said, "There's that hot tub though." It was like, "Good idea." And that's it. Like it was like one need to be talked into it.
that. Paris is just way more comfortable in front of the camera, and Nicole just was not. Like at least at the beginning of this. Who knows later on? Maybe that was more
Season
of the
5,
case.
she's a pro.
Maybe. There's apparently some sort of falling out between seasons 3 and 4. Like
Between
the first,
Paris and
Whoa.
Nicole.
yeah, the first 3 seasons were on Fox, and then they moved to E. And there wasn't sure season 4 was going to happen. Season 4 was supposed to be with somebody else, and then they patched it up because they
Who
like
else would it
money.
have been?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, it was they did definitely said it in Wikipedia. Doesn't
We'll
really
come
matter.
back.
It doesn't
to
really matter. I'm not looking it up. It's not important.
I have a question
Yeah.
to Rob because I feel like maybe he knows this because he alluded to it. Where are the other locations that these other seasons take place?
You gotta tell
if it's
us.
not farms.
So this is the taglines.
Seas-
There's
season 2 was a road trip.
so
Ooh.
season 1, The Simple Life. Season 2, Simple Life Road Trip. Season
Road
3,
rules.
The Simple Life Interns.
Where are
Season
they?
4,
interns?
Simple Life Till Death Do Us Part. Season
They're getting
5,
married?
Simple Life Goes to Camp.
I can only imagine what these are about.
Man, if they're camp counselors, that'd be
Oh my
that'd be pretty
God.
great.
Are
The
they
funny thing-
wedding officiants?
I was trying to read through what the description of season 4 was to understand it, and it does say the disc of the 4th and last season. The description.
Lies.
Wild.
They called it too soon.
Oh wow, this is so whoever wrote the description is like talking about behind the scenes of like about like that while they're during the contractually obligated production of what had become an astonishingly popular show, the poor little rich girls were in the midst of a bitter feud. This description goes on forever. There's no way I'm
This
gonna read all of it.
production.
So this is like a Fate of the Furious situation.
Oh yes. Who is the Rock in this situation?
Tinkerbell. Anyway,
Hold
Anyway.
it down.
what else have people been watching?
I've been keeping up with Survivor.
Yeah.
So
oh boy,
Sur-
you've been
Survivor's,
keeping up.
Survivor's you're getting down there. There's only like 7 or 8 people left.
Is
They're
Ned
getting down there. Only 8 people.
is Ned Schneebly still in?
Who is Ned Sheebley?
The guy from School of Rock?
No, he's out.
R.I.P.
There's a lot of blindsides. A lot of people getting voted out, not knowing they're gonna get voted out. And then the really nerdy science guy,
Mhm.
he was spoilers, doesn't matter. He was gonna get blindsided, but somebody told him, and he was his idol, and other people got somebody else, the person that wanted to blindside him out, and it wasn't even him. So it's just like, I think it's really interesting because it's like all these people they're all getting malnourished. They're all doing these crazy challenges. They're all like cat fighting each other to see who's gonna just vote each other out. It's very compelling, but I do think maybe if you've seen 38 seasons or whatever many seasons there are, it kind of get boring.
Sure.
But I'm very interested because it's my first season since season 1.
Who do you think is gonna win?
I don't know. I have no idea. The ugly naked guy.
Good choice.
I mean, the nerdy science guys. He's probably making it pretty far, but I don't think he's gonna win.
What's been the best challenge?
The thing is, the challenges are so formulaic that it's like
Mm.
they're just like
Not
hey, we're going to do this obstacle course and there's going to be a puzzle or a somewhat hard challenge at the end so everyone can catch up. And then it really matters how well you do that versus anything. So it's like they're not like the challenge where they're like, let me jump off this car that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
Which I think the challenge does do a better job of that, but their challengers aren't malnourished. So they have an easier job, I think, overall of,
They just drink the green wine.
So I'm in. I like it. Anyone else watching anything?
A bunch of us have been watching Final Table.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it super deep because we might do it on the pod, but it's kind of, it's Netflix's version of like Top Chef or whatever, except both the judges and the contestants all have like multiple Michelin stars. It's impressive stuff.
So it's like when we talked about last week, where like it's just these mediocre people and these mediocre judges. It's like high end.
Yeah, and it really makes all the difference.
Yeah. I think we should put it up. We just did a cooking show, so maybe we need some distance, but
Sure.
We'll put in the queue.
So Annabeth and I watched episode 2 of the Joe Schmo Show.
Oh man, this is the top third show, right?
Oh man, I think I
Right?
I think
This is top third.
I think it might be getting downgraded. Oh man,
Uh-oh.
It's plummeting.
it was
Plummeting in ratings.
it was tough to watch the second episode. Like I'm not even sure that we got through it. Like it was tough to watch that.
Is
It's-
that the show where they're all actors except for the one guy?
Yeah. It's like a really cool concept. Like I think that part of the reason why it's not good is like the fake reality show on the show is just so weird and just unbelievable that like I don't know, like there's something about it, and like that's so much of the content of the show. Like the stuff that's like a documentary that like about how they're tricking this guy like is interesting, but like all like the shtick of the fake reality show is just really not great. I feel. I don't know, Rob.
Maybe you're tainted by your years of reality show expertise. Now you see
Could
through
be.
you see through the artifice in a way you wouldn't have in 2002.
Could be, but like the actors are constantly just almost blowing it. Like all the
Yeah.
time they're messing up and almost blowing it.
So Brian, one of the things that's great about this show is that in retrospect, Kristen Wiig is one of the actors on the show doing this in this old like fake reality show. It's insane.
and Rickety Cricket.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rickety
It's
Cricket
wild.
is an actor on this fake reality show.
Somehow whoever did the casting for this thing like was amazing at casting. Like there were a couple people out of this random group of actors that actually made it.
Is Rickety Cricket still?
He
Did
was
he get kicked off?
he was still in the mix, but something crazy happened with him, which I'm having trouble remembering right now.
Well, they were
Oh
gonna.
yeah, okay. So there's so you remember the one guy who had brought as his personal item the like photo book thing, and he's taking photos of the group and like making like a scrapbook out of it.
Sure.
At some point, the Hutch, which is Rickety Cricket's like character's name, decides to just take all the photos out of there and like throw them away and replace them with like pictures of his butt that he took. So he just like does that and just leaves it there, and then like obviously the dude freaks out, acts like he's freaking out about it. It's pretty
So the fake reality show and the Joe Schmo show, what was it called?
lap of luxury.
So is that the opposite of this reality show?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's just like this is taking the people with a lap of luxury, putting them in the simple life. Whereas
It's the complicated life.
all right. Well, I guess that's it for us, unless you guys have anything. All right. Well, you can find us on Twitter at WhoPutThisOn. You can find us on Facebook.com/WhoPutThisOn. You can email us questions and suggestions at WhoPutThisOn@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys next time.